Ready at Dawn, the company that made Echo VR, Lone Echo 1 and 2. Everybody seems to be flaming at this company for many different reasons, but let's rewind a little bit. Ready at Dawn started off in 2003, founded by three guys, Ru Weerasuriya, Andre Pacino, and Didier Malenfant. They're former members of notable game companies such as Naughty Dog, the company that created hit games like the entire Uncharted franchise, The Last of Us franchise, and more. Also Blizzard Entertainment, known for games like World of Warcraft, Diablo, Overwatch, and StarCraft. Ready at Dawn started with their team of 100 plus people making games for the PlayStation Portable, with Daxter in 2006 and God of War Chains of Olympus in 2008. Things looking good for the company. They even made one game for the Nintendo Wii, Okami. Their company even has their own building that they develop games in. Then in 2009, they began working on their very own game engine. It was said to be a wholly console-centric platform, integrated with a suite of third-party tools that require no additional license. These tools included 3D content editing, audio, user interface, and asset management systems. There really is no further information about their game engine, unfortunately. A Ready at Dawn game engine would be very interesting to look into. This was around the time that things went downhill very, very fast for Ready at Dawn. It was July 2010, and Ready at Dawn had made a whopping 13 employees redundant, citing difficulties in finding fundings between projects behind the redundancies. Then in early 2012, they said they were creating a third-person action-adventure game for, quote-unquote, the next-generation home console game system. This was referring to the PlayStation 4, which had yet to be announced. Ready at Dawn, along with Sony, at E3 2013, announced the game The Order 1886. This game was hyped up a ton. Everybody was on the edge of their seats waiting for this game to be, quote-unquote, the first next-generation PlayStation 4 game. People were calling this game the next generation, and it hadn't even been released. And this was the problem. When the game had been released in February 20th, 2015, it received a lot of backlash for being mediocre. People calling the game out for being too short, not good replayability, no multiplayer, story being underdeveloped, and much more. The game would usually get a 4 to 6 out of 10 rating. Then, in June 2015, even more events kept coming. Ru Weerasuriya retired his title of CEO and would become president and chief creative officer of the company, giving ownership to Paul Sams. Then on April 21st, 2017, the team released the game Deformers. This game could be bought on Windows, Xbox One, and the PlayStation 4, and its ratings were even worse than The Order 1866. Ready at Dawn then teamed up with Tencent, a very controversial Chinese game publisher, to publish more games to China, but it ended in 2018 due to Deformers being short-lived. Then, it's July 20th, 2017, they released two of their most well-known games they ever made, Lone Echo and Echo Arena, soon to be named Echo VR, but that's later. Although the game was very well received, it lacked a broader audience, because in 2017, a VR was very hard to get your hands on due to pricing. But Lone Echo is still said by some to be the most beautiful VR game ever made, and Echo VR was very fun to play. Paul Sams stated that he hoped Echo VR would become an e-sport, and in 2019 that happened with the VR Master League. During this time, they released a DLC for Echo VR named Echo Combat, which gave players of the game guns and an entirely new game to play inside the game. Then, in June 2020, Oculus bought Ready at Dawn and became the parent company of the studio. Later in 2020, in December, the game had grown a ton. The Oculus Quest 2 had recently come out and every kid was getting one for Christmas. Since Echo VR was a free game, this led to the game spiking in popularity, but also leading to a lot of people quitting due to most of the new players being young and obnoxious. Then in March, the first Echo Pass released. It costed $10 and introduced a lot of cool new things into the game. In 2021, they released a sequel to Lone Echo, which is also very well received, and people loved the game. Although, this would become a problem soon. Even though things seem to finally be looking good for Ready at Dawn, things have spiraled downwards around Season 5 of the Echo Pass, where people with Quest 2s were complaining about how they couldn't access the combat game. They couldn't play Lone Echo 1 or 2 on their Quest 2 without a link cable. The fanbase was also wanting new things to the game. Anything. The game hadn't actually had an update other than Echo Passes, and people were leaving the game more than ever. They also wanted seasonal lobbies to come back, an old thing which used to be in the game but was later removed due to the Quest 2's release. Ready at Dawn stated they simply couldn't add all these things because of how powerful the Quest 2 is. It can't handle running any of those things. This made people understand, but they still wanted it. In 2022, Ready at Dawn had made some minor updates to the game, adding a shop that added a few more skins to buy other than just the Echo Pass. But they also added a huge customization update, adding loads of new customization options. People were very happy with the update as it added loads of new features that people had wanted. Then Ready at Dawn was quiet, and they have been ever since they added it. And that is the entire story of Ready at Dawn. But now I'd like to give some hot takes of mine. Please don't get angry at these. These are my opinions. I know these are things are facts, but my speculation. First, let me talk about the seasonal lobbies and Echo Combat on the Quest 2. I honestly think that the Quest 2 not being able to run it is baloney. This is just my speculation, but how can the Quest 2 not handle a few more 3D models and features in the lobby, but it can run Bone Lab just fine with obviously way more features in the game and even a section where you can add mods, which only layers more things into the game? With Echo Combat, I can kind of see how this wouldn't work, so I'll give them a pass on Echo Combat. But I do think the seasonal lobby is not coming back because the Quest can't run it. It's just the developer's way of saying, we're too lazy to add this, take a reskin chase this, and leave us alone. They even announced in Season 7 that it's going to be the last Echo Pass, further confirming my speculation that it's just them being lazy, along with crappy reskins of old Echo Pass chases. Another theory is that they're working on another game, which could be true, and if it is, then you can take everything I said and throw it in the trash, but right now I feel the devs have gotten lazy and just want to swim in the money Oculus paid them to buy their company. Anyhow guys, that's the video. I hope you enjoyed. If you did, please like and subscribe since it helps a lot. Anyhow, have a good day.